or part of your syllabus?
Give me a second. I'll quickly
No,
go
you
and
don't have to
check.
do it. You don't have to do it right now. You can take your time and just
Sure.
send me whatever is covered in your syllabus in WhatsApp.
Okay, I
Okay.
will then.
So today we are going to talk about triangles, I believe. Let me just check. Yeah, today was triangles, right? So, but before I go into triangles, we also had left triangles as part of coordinate geometry yesterday. You remember, Prisha? So,
Yes, sir.
so we'll complete that first, and then I'll go into the rest of it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I'll just take 5 minutes to recap what we did yesterday for Kushal to catch up, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So Kushal, what we did yesterday is simple basics of coordinate geometry. As you know that in coordinate geometry we usually um, plot points on a two-dimensional plane of x and y, right? Where we define a point in terms of the x and y coordinates, right? So if I say I have a point 2, 3, it means I go 2 steps on the x-axis and then 3 steps on the y-axis, right?
Okay.
So this is how we define a point on a two-dimensional plane, right?
Right.
So what we did yesterday was how do we define a point and how do we calculate the distance between 2 points. So if I have 2 points P and Q, so I want to calculate the distance PQ. So what I will do is I will use the I will use the Pythagoras theorem, right?
Right.
And if I need to use the Pythagoras theorem, I need to have a rectangle. So I just extend the coordinates of P and Q on x and y axis. So this is my P coordinate, which is 2, y coordinate of P, which is 2, and let's say Q coordinate is 5 and 7. So this would be 5. I'm sorry, this would be 7. This is 3, sorry. This is 3, which is the y coordinate, and this would be 2, and this would be 5, right? So these are the two x coordinates of the 2 points, and these are the two y coordinates of the 2 points, right? And
Right.
we can see that this is a right angle, so we can use the Pythagoras theorem. PQ square is equal to, if I name this point R, PR square plus QR square, right? And if I
Right.
have to find out PQ, so PR is this distance, which is the total distance minus this distance,
Okay.
right? So the total
Right.
distance is 5 and this distance is 2. So here it is 5 minus 2 whole square plus QR is this distance. So by similar logic, total distance minus the small distance. So total distance is 7 and the small distance is 3, right? So this
Right.
is how we calculate the distance between 2 points, and PQ would be the square root of that, whatever is that number. 3 square plus 4 square, which is root over 25, 5,
Right.
right? So this is how we find out the distance between points, and we also covered how we can find out distance, the ratio between 2 points. So suppose these are 2 points P and Q, such that there is a point R somewhere on this line which divides this line in the ratio m is to n. So that means this distance is to this distance is in the ratio of m is to n. And I'm given the points 2, 3 and 5, 7, let's say, and I'm asked to find the coordinates of this point, right? So again, what we will do is we will use the coordinates, right?
Right.
So this is 7. I don't know this point, so I will call it xy. So this will be x and this would be 2, right? So here, since I'm given a ratio, I have to use the concept of similar triangles. Do you know
Okay.
this concept?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So that means that if I have two triangles like this, which are having the same angles ABC and DEF, and they have the same angles, so in that case, their corresponding sides are proportional. So AB by DE is equal to AC by DF is equal to BC by EF. So this is the concept, right? So
Okay.
here, wherever you encounter a ratio, you always try and see if you can use the concept of similar triangles, right? So again, we will do the same thing. We will extend the x and y coordinates. So therefore, these coordinates are this one, I don't know, this one is y, this one is 3, and this is 7. So now I can see that I have one triangle here and I have a bigger triangle here, right? So let
Okay.
us call these 2 points R and S. So therefore, I can see in that triangle QRS and triangle Q, QR. This I have already called R. Sorry, this is S. This is T. QRS and QPT. These two triangles have this angle as 90 degrees. So one of their angles is common. Angle Q is common to both, right? So these
Right.
two triangles are similar. These are the corresponding angles of parallel sides. So triangles are similar, right? So therefore the
Right.
corresponding sides are equal, which means QR, which is the side of the small triangle, QR, which is opposite to this 90 degree, is proportional to PQ, which is the side of the bigger triangle, which is opposite to the right angle, right?
Okay.
This is equal to QS, which is again the side of the small triangle, divided by QT, which is the side of the bigger triangle, again opposite to the same angles. That is again equal to RS, which is the side of the smaller triangle, divided by PT, which is the side of the bigger triangle, right?
Right.
Kushal, are you able to follow?
Yes, I do follow.
Okay. So now we are trying to find out the values of x, y. We don't know y and x. That is what we are trying to find out. So what we will do is we will take these in pairs. Keeping PQ and QR common, we will take this pair and we will take this pair, right? So that will give us the x and y coordinates. So what is QR, Kushal? What is the length of QR?
It is N.
N. What is the length of PQ?
It is M plus n.
M plus n. Fantastic. What is QS?
QS should be 4.
Right. 7? No. QS is not 4. QS is 7 minus y.
Oh, sorry. 7
Right?
minus y.
This is
Right.
y. This is 7. And this is 3. So I'm trying to find
Okay.
out this length. So 7 minus y. Right? And what is the value of QT?
That would be 4.
That would be 7 minus 3. Correct. Right? So
Right.
therefore, we can write 4n is equal to 7m plus n minus y m plus n. Right? Right, Kushal?
Right.
So y into m plus n, I bring this whole term to the other side and I bring 4n to this side is equal to 7m plus 7n minus 4n. Right?
Right.
So y is equal to 7m plus 3n over m plus n. Right?
Okay.
And if I give you the values of m and n, you can be able to calculate the exact value of y.
Right.
Right? Right?
Right.
So similarly, I can find the value of x if I take the other pair, which is QR by PQ and RS by PT. So QR by PQ will remain n by, let me clear this up a little bit. So QR by PQ will remain as is, n by m plus n. And what would be RS?
RS, um, that should be um, x minus 2 or x minus 5 minus x.
RS
RS should be 5 minus x, right?
5 minus x, correct. And what is PT?
PT should be 3.
5 minus 2, correct. So again, very simple, 3n is equal to 5 into m plus n minus x into m plus n. So I get the value of x into m plus n as 5m plus 5n minus 3n, which is 2n. So x is 5m plus 2n by m plus n, right?
Right.
So notice one thing. Now notice one thing, that the easiest way to calculate this is 7, which is the coordinate of the point Q, multiplied by the the distance between P and R. So it is just a cross multiplication. I'm multiplying 7 with M and 3, which is the uh, coordinate of P, with N, right? So 3N, 7M plus 3N by M plus N.
Okay.
So by similar logic, I would take 5M plus 2N by M plus N, which is exactly what I got,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Okay. So now if I do the reverse thing, that means if I have 2 points P and Q and there is another point R which divides PQ externally. R
Okay.
divides PQ externally. What does this mean?
So lines are infinite. So it's a point in that line uh, that just is part of the line PQ, but we don't know its coordinates.
Right. So if I compare this with the previous one, where R was dividing this internally, I saw that this is M and this is N, right?
Right.
PR is M and QR is N. The same logic holds here. So PR would be M and QR would become N.
Okay.
Clear? So this
Yes.
is
Yes, it
this
is.
is what is the difference between internal division and external division, right?
Right.
Now, now if I want to find the coordinates of R, which is not known, only M and N are known, and let's say P is given as x1, y1, and Q is given as x2, y2, I will use the same logic, right? So
Right.
I will drop this. This is x1. I will drop this, which is x2, and I will drop this, which is x3. Sorry, which is x, which is unknown. And I will complete the the triangles, right?
Right.
So therefore, I will name this S and T, and I will use the same logic of similar triangles. I can clearly see that there are two similar triangles, which are QRS and PRT. These are similar, so the corresponding sides would be proportional, right? So
Right.
QR, same logic, QR by PR will be equal to QS by PT, right?
Right.
So QR is N and PR this time is M, right?
Right.
Is equal to QS, which is, what is QS?
QS. It's x minus x2.
And what is PT?
PT is x minus x1.
Right. So therefore I can write NX minus NX1 is equal to MX minus MX2, right? So now I
Right.
will bring all the X terms on one side. So I will bring this out here, and or I'll do it the other way because M is bigger. So I'll bring this term here, and I will bring this minus X to this side. So therefore MX2 minus NX1 is equal to mx minus nx, or this is equal to x into m minus n. So x is equal to mx2 minus nx1 by m minus n, right?
Okay.
So notice that last time we got this as a plus, right? This time we are getting this as a
Right.
minus,
Okay.
right?
So when the value of x and y for r is greater than p and q's x values, it's a minus.
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay.
So if R is an external divider, then it would become minus. If R is internal divider, then it will be plus. The rest of the logic holds same. So the second point, which is x2, will get multiplied by the length of the distance of P to R, right? The the coordinate of
Okay.
Q multiplied by the distance from P to R minus the coordinate of P into the distance of Q to R, n x1, right?
Right.
X1 into n is getting subtracted from x2 into m because m is bigger than m here, right? And
Okay.
divided by
Yeah.
m minus n, which is the distance pq,
Okay.
right? So this is how the logic works, right? Now, sometimes in your exams, you might be given this problem the other way around. So they might give you the points. So they might give you the points like this. So P, Q, and R, and you are told that R is the um, external divider of PQ, and you are given PQ as 2 and 3, and you are given R as 10 and 14, and you are told that R divides PQ externally in the ratio of 2 is to 1. That means PR is 2 and QR is 1, right?
Okay. Right.
So we have to find the coordinates of Q. How will we do it?
We are going to make similar triangles once again.
Yeah, same logic. Now we can do it without the triangles also. We will try and do it using the logic. So the coordinate of P multiplied by the distance between QR. Okay,
Okay.
coordinate of P multiplied by distance QR will get subtracted from coordinate of Q, which is x, coordinate of Q multiplied by distance of PR divided by the distance PQ. This is the this is the coordinate of R, both for x and y, right?
Right.
So coordinate of P is 2. I'm taking x coordinate, so this is 2. Distance PR is 2, right?
Right.
Minus coordinate of
Which
coordinate
is
of Q is x. Coordinate of Q is x. X into 2, right? Minus coordinate of P, which is 2, into distance of QR, which is 1, by PQ, which is 2 minus 1. This is coordinate of R, which is 10, right? You can do it by dropping the triangles, but I'm just showing you the logic so that you can
right.
calculate quickly.
Okay.
It is
Yes,
just
it makes sense.
the logic is just cross multiplication. So coordinate of
Okay.
so PQ is my original line. Just look at the original line, right? So x coordinate of Q multiplied by the distance of P and R, which is 2, minus x coordinate of P multiplied by the distance QR divided by PQ. PQ is 2 minus 1.
Right.
So then it becomes very simple. So 2x is equal to 10 plus 2 or x equal to 6.
Okay.
right? Now tell me the y coordinate of, how will you find the y coordinate of Q?
So it will be y times 2 minus 3 times 1 over 2 minus 1. That would equal 2y
No,
minus,
we have to equate it with the coordinate of R.
right, okay. So y would be equals 14, right?
Correct,
So 2y minus,
right?
right,
2y minus 3 is equal to 14. So y
okay,
becomes 8.5, right? So I showed you both the method because I don't want, I hate remembering formula. So I don't want you to remember formula. I just want to show you the logic. So I showed you that the logic is similar triangles. So in your exam, if you don't remember, and you are confused, just go with the similar triangles. That will be uh, the
right,
best way to do it. But if you are able to understand the logic, then you can use this logic directly.
okay.
So whichever,
I have got,
yeah,
sorry. I had a question.
sure,
So with the original ratio, it was 2 to 1, right?
yeah,
So with the ratio, if it was, say, a 4 to 2 ratio, and it was simplified to be a 2 to 1 ratio,
correct, absolutely.
we can guess that it might be a 4 to 2 or a 6 to 3 ratio as well. How would that affect our equation? Would it change our final answer at all?
It won't. Okay, let's try it
It
out.
won't?
Very, very good question. So let's try it out. Let us take this 6 and this as 3, right? So we'll go with
Right.
the same logic. Coordinate of Q. Coordinate of Q is X. Distance PR. 6 minus. Coordinate of P. Coordinate of P is 2. Distance QR into 3, right?
Right.
Divided by PQ, which is 6 minus 3. Correct?
Right.
That is equal to 10, right? So,
Okay. Yes.
so which means 6x minus 6 is equal to 30, right? Or 6x
Right.
is equal to 36, or x equal to 6.
Okay. Right. I see where that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So because uh, the value uh, in front, the coefficient of x will always be 2 times the amount of the denominator. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So very good question. So, you know, in fact, in your exams, if you are given the ratio as 12 is to 4, always reduce it to the lowest ratio. So this is 3 is to
Right.
1, and then calculate, right?
Okay.
So it will give you the same answer. So this is not only for this particular case, but in for any problems in any in any way, wherever you see a ratio, you can always reduce that ratio to the lowest term. The answer will not change
Okay.
in any problem. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
sure. Okay. So now we will get into triangles. Prisha, you're there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have our XY coordinates. So let's say I have 3 points A, B, and C, and I have a triangle like this. right? And I know that the coordinates of A are x1, y1, B is x2, y2, and C is x3, y3. Okay, so
Okay.
there are two things that I want to find out. One is what is the perimeter of the triangle, and number two is area of the triangle, right?
Right.
So how will we do it?
If we take um, A and we draw a line down perpendicular to the x-axis, we would be left with two right triangles.
No, I have not said this is a right angle. No, let me
Oh, okay.
let me it's my fault. Let me just redraw this triangle. So the points are anywhere.
Right.
So this is my triangle.
Okay.
So A is x1, y1, B is x2, y2, and C is x3, y3. So first we will try and find the perimeter. So how do we find the perimeter?
It would be
Can we find the distance of AB, BC, and AC like we did previously and then add them?
Correct. That's all we have to do. So perimeter is equal to AB plus BC plus CA, right? And how do we find the distance? AB,
it would be the square root of uh, x1 minus x2 squared
fantastic.
and y1 minus y2 squared.
Fantastic. See, one good thing about coordinate geometry is whatever you do with the x part, you do the same thing with the y part. It is just a replica. So wherever you do x1 minus x2, you will do y1 minus y2. Wherever you do x1 plus x2, you will do y1 plus y2, and so on. So whatever operation you do with x part, you do the same thing with the y part. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
Okay.
BC would be similarly root over of
BC would be x3 minus x2 squared plus y3 minus y2 squared.
fantastic. And CA,
x1 minus x3 squared y1 minus y3 squared.
right? So when you are given the values of x1, x2, x3, y1, y2, y3, you can find out all of this and simply add them. That will give you the perimeter, right? So this is very simple. Now, how do we find the area?
It would be base times height divided by 2.
Correct. But
We
how do we find the base and how do we find the height?
Base would be BC,
Right?
and then the height would be I do not know how to find the height.
So the height should be like this, a perpendicular, right? I
Good.
will show you how to do with height also, but first let us do it with uh,
Sir, can we use Heron's formula?
which formula?
Heron's formula after taking out the coordinates?
Tell me the formula.
Uh, I don't quite remember it.
Okay, let us forget formula, right?
Um,
There are lots of ways of doing this, but let us do it from basic first principle, because in exam sometimes you are not able to recollect formula, so that's why I don't recommend going with formulas. I always recommend understanding the basics so that you are able to do it.